Jyotish is a multi-layered business, and so there are many, many, many layers to really understanding and interpreting a horoscope well, and people often want to dive into something that is essentially a detail, like a curlicue of icing on a cake, a multi-layered cake, and think that they're going to they misplace, they don't know how to prioritize meaning, so the value of one thing is not properly offset against the value of other things in terms of looking at a horoscope. So there is a kind of every astrologer has their own version of this, but having some series of steps to enter into a horoscope and to weight things properly will make Jyotish chart interpretation easier and better. So there is a background base of knowledge that every beginning astrologer should attempt to acquire, which is, some memorization of the meaning of the signs and the planets and the houses and the nakshatras. I mean, those are like basic ingredients. And the more detailed your knowledge becomes of these things, the more detailed your astrology can be with less effort. So, for instance, just knowing which direction planets glance can help you a lot when you have someone in front of you and determining which planet is operating most strongly through their personality. Saturn glances downward, Sun glances upward, Mars glances upward, Ketu glances upward, Mercury and Venus glance side to side, Jupiter and Moon look straight ahead, and Rahu also glances downward. So people who are influenced by a particular planet will tend to move their eyes as that planet suggests they will. So little details like that are mode of persuasion. Different planets respond to different forms of persuasion. Knowing that can be, all these little details start to flesh out one's interpretation of a horoscope. So that is background information. But then when you look into a specific horoscope, you want to initially, I think, evaluate the strength of each planet. And strength can be very complex in Jyotish, but there are several parameters of strength that it should at least be looked at. Directional strength, whether the planet is exalted in its own sign in a friend sign or an enemy sign, or debilitated, whether or not it's influenced by benefics, whether or not it's influenced by malefics, whether or not it's influenced by its own dispositor. Is it in a planetary war? Is it combust? If it's the moon, is it waxing or waning? And how bright is it? How far it sits from the sun in the horoscope is a measure of how bright it is. And you want to run through these sort of questions so that you have a base idea of each planet's strength. But then what you really want to look at before going into house analysis is yoga analysis. So then you want to start looking around the horoscope for the planetary yogas. And my Jyotish teacher used to say a good basic level of Jyotishical understanding is to memorize 300 yogas, which will give you a good base for being able to accurately interpret a horoscope. Then you want to do a bunch of other things, which I will talk about in the next video.